Welcome back again. In this video I'll machine the slot with a 3/8 diameter end mill. The slot will be roughed and finished using multi-passes and depth of cuts. Now the slot is 1/2 inch wide. Using a 1/2 inch diameter end mill would not allow me to rough out the slot. At the end of the video I'll verify the part and generate the CNC code. So let's get busy. Going to move up into toolpaths, and right at the very top of the list here, contour toolpath. So on the left we have the chaining dialog box with chain set, and on the graphic screen our prompt, select contour chain 1. So I'm going to move on down and click on this lower line for the slot. Now the arrow is pointing in the correct direction to climb mill this slot, so that's good. So we're done here. I'm going to click on OK. Now we need to select an end mill. I'm going to click on Select Library Tool, and we need a 3/8 diameter flat end mill. So there it is. I'm going to select it. We're done here. I'm going to pick OK. Feed rate, I'm going to change that to 8 inches per minute. The plunge rate, likewise 8 inches. For the spindle speed, 4750, and I'm going to check mark rapid retract. Also going to turn the coolant on. I'm going to click on the coolant button, open up the drop down for flood, and turn it on. We're done here. OK. Next up, let's move over to the contour parameters page. I'm going to check mark multi-passes, depth of cuts, breakthrough, and lead in, lead out. Now let's check our depths. Clearance, we got that at absolute, set to 2 inch. That's good. I'm going to check mark use clearance only at the start and end of operation. Our retract, absolute 0.6. That's good. Feed plane, likewise 0.6. Top of stock is an absolute. I'm going to change it to 0.325. And for the depth, I'm going to change that to 0. This slots right through the part. So everything looks good here. I'm going to click in the lead in, lead out button. And starting at the top, I'm going to deactivate enter exit at midpoint. I'm going to leave the check mark against gouge check entry exit motion. And I'm also going to uncheck the entry lead in, lead out, and also just slide over to the right. I'm going to uncheck the exit as well. Down at the bottom, I'm going to check mark adjust start of contour. I'm going to extend it, and the length, I'm going to change that to 100%. Sliding over to the right, I'm going to adjust the end of contour, so I'm going to activate, and likewise for the length, I'm going to put in 100% and check extend. So everything looks good here. I'm going to click on OK. Next up, we're going to move into multi-passes. So I'm going to click on the multi-passes button. I'm going to leave the number set to 1 for roughing passes. The spacing, I'm going to set that to 0. Down below in the finish passes, for the number, I'm going to change that to 1. But for the spacing, I'm going to change that to 10th thou, 0.01. One last thing, machine finish passes at final depth and check mark keep tool down. So we're good here. I'm going to click on OK. Next up, depth of cuts. For the maximum rough step, I'm going to input 0.125. Number of finished cuts, going to leave that at 0. Finish step, going to change that to 0. Keep tool down, I'm going to activate. Everything looks good here, so we're done. Green check mark for OK. Next up, breakthrough. I'm going to click on the breakthrough button. Now the breakthrough amount, I'm going to change that to 10th thou, 0.01. We're done. I'm going to click on OK. Now let's, one more time, OK. Now let's verify the completed part. I'm going to move up and click on isometric. I'm going to do a screen fit. Over on the left in the Toolpath Manager, I'm going to click on Select All Operations and then click on the Verified Selected Operations. Speed is at midway. I've got the Simulate tool and holder. Now let's click the machine button. There's our spot drilling operation. Next up is the center drill, drilling the bolt hole circle. Following this, 3/16 drill, drilling right through the part. Next up is our tap drill operation, followed by the tapping operation. Now we're machining out the triangular shaped pockets. There's the first one, second one. And then the slot we just completed. A thing of beauty. Looks good. I'm going to pick OK here. I'm just going to move up and click on the icon for save. Let's post and create the CNC code file. Everything is selected. I'm going to click on Post Selected Operations. I'm going to click the green check mark here. I'm going to accept this name, Mill Lesson 7, hit save. And there's all our G codes and X and Y coordinates. Looks great. I'm done. I'm going to pick up in the right corner there the X. Now this completes Mill Lesson 7 and this video. Thanks so much for watching.